I got this question from Sophia, who writes, I'm preparing to take the LSAT in June and definitely want to score 165 plus. My studying is focused on the past LSAT prep tests, but reading comprehension, especially dense legal passages, is really a struggle. I also find my concentration waning in the later sections of practice tests. How can I improve my endurance and comprehension skills? I totally get that. LSAT reading comprehension passages are deliberately designed by LSAC to be boring. They are not excerpted from real-world sources, but rather are adapted and rewritten by LSAC to make them more boring, less engaging, and to make them more abstract in nature. Now, people will often say to me, should I read The Economist or Scientific American to better acquaint myself with what LSAT reading comp will give me? My question is always, why not just use the actual LSAT prep tests themselves? There are nearly 400 released LSAT reading comp passages published in the nearly 100 released LSAT practice tests. 4 passages per exam times 100 practice tests is roughly 400 passages. And so, given that you're taking the LSAT in June, you have plenty of time to go through all 400 of them, but I certainly wouldn't go beyond them. In fact, you may not get to all 400, and that would be totally fine. I would say read some of them, quote unquote, casually, like your bedtime reading to help you fall asleep, beach reading if the weather permits. For those of you taking the LSAT in the fall, you could take some passages with you to the beach to read them for some casual beach reading if you want. My point here is that LSAT reading comp passages are perfectly sufficient practice material, and I wouldn't go beyond them. Now, as for the fact that getting through these reading comp passages is a struggle, I totally get you on that, and I'm going to share a couple of techniques to help you try to make them more engaging. One of them would be to caricature or exaggerate the different viewpoints presented in the passages. So for example, if you have one side that's a little bit more liberal, a little bit more conservative, you could exaggerate that and say, and one of them is radically conservative, and you could think about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party if you wanted to, if that would help you get a better handle on what exactly they are talking about and help you stay engaged with the text of the passage. Another strategy that you could take is to feign interest in it. In other words, fake it till you make it, pretending that what they're saying to you in these passages is the most exciting and interesting thing in the world, that your deep crush is saying this all, that someone you have a huge crush on is saying all of this to you, and you are hanging on their every single word. You could also say to yourself that you're going to summarize each paragraph in just a single word or two as a way to stop and check your comprehension of what you just read to make sure that your eyes are not glazing over. As for your concern about your concentration waning in the later sections of practice tests, in other words, you're getting fatigued as the exam goes on, that is totally normal. The LSAT is a marathon, not a sprint, and struggling with endurance on the LSAT is, of course, totally normal. I would recommend taking more timed practice tests to help build your endurance, with the goal being that LSAT test day itself is like just another run through, and you are able to easily get through all 4 sections of the test. Of course, there are still several months between now and June, so practice tests do not need to be your focus right now. I would focus always first on accuracy, then on pacing with individual timed sections, and then bring it all together with endurance, doing full-length 4-section timed tests. But if you want to work on that earlier, of course, it's totally fine. Maybe you take 1 practice test a week after you've already built that strong foundation in each LSAT section and each question type, and then you move on to doing maybe 2 timed exams a week if your schedule permits. You might want to occasionally mix in a 5-section LSAT so that 4 sections alone will seem easy by comparison, and you could also play with where you insert the extra unscored experimental section, either 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, so that you're familiar with a wide variety of formats that test day could ultimately end up looking like. Anyway, Sophia and everyone out there, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do me a favor and share it with someone who needs to see it. I don't do any advertising for this channel. I rely only on word of mouth to help get the word out, and your spreading the word really does make a difference. And if you're looking for help with LSAT reading comp, building your endurance, getting ready for the LSAT whenever you're taking it, there are a wide variety of ways I could support you. We offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. You can check out the links below this video to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. We'd be glad to help you out. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.